Sam, obviously just a few days up. How have you felt after the final?
Yeah, obviously disappointing to lose any game, especially a final. But you know, we just got played off the park, so really not much to say about it, and just lucky that I have camp to come into straight after to take my mind off it.
And so these games are obviously good. I mean, they're friendlies, but they're good preparation for the Olympic qualifiers that you've got coming up. Just in terms of your squad, I mean, you're obviously still sort of looking at players and experimenting and whatnot, but how much of that squad have you already got pictured in your head, and how many spots, I suppose, are still up for grabs?
Yeah, well, the good thing is that the Olympics is 18 players, so it's 5 less. So you have to take that in consideration when you pick your squad, and you look at it purely based on the fact of the games, the rest period, the quality of opposition, the travel, and at the same time, on reflection from the World Cup, when you're away for an extended period of time away from home and you're in a tournament scenario, you learn a lot about the group, what players can give on and off the park. So you're in a situation where you use these games for different reasons, and at the same time we look at the squad that we picked and we're satisfied with it, and also bearing in mind that the young Matildas are away, so there's a few there that potentially have a chance moving forward and are on the extended list, but the priority definitely is for the young girls to qualify. So we've gone with this squad for this series, and then we'll reassess it as we always do after the 2 games.
So given those challenges and that sort of unique nature, what are you looking to see and get out of these games against Chile?
Yeah, again, look, it's a unique time for us because with the way the players come into camp and being in America when that league finished, and the ones that are playing here domestically, and that, so to put it all together, to play 2 games against a quality opponent, we're just really looking for players that can train at the intensity that's required, that can fit and execute the playing style. So really just build on what we've been working on since I've been in charge. So yeah, looking forward to being back home, and I think with the opportunity to play in a fantastic stadium like this here, and with a good crowd expected, I think it's a really good occasion for these girls to put on a good performance tomorrow.
As you mentioned, you haven't had that much time with them. Are you happy with what you've seen in training so far?
Yeah, again, you always, as a national team coach, you want more games. You look at our opponent tomorrow, they've had 4 since the World Cup, we haven't had any. You always want more games, you want more time to train together, because we really benefit a lot from the time that we're together, and also what they do away from camp also impacts us. So we've had a few training sessions, and basically with the numbers that we have, we're looking to give everyone an opportunity over the next few days to present themselves.
Sam, can you give us an idea of the time frame for when you're going to know your next club? Is that going to be something you'll know sooner, or have you got a rough idea?
Yeah, I mean it's nearly there. There's still a little bit to go through, but it's an exciting time for me. It's going to be a new challenge and a new experience, but I think it will only better me as a footballer. So I'm really looking forward to finally being able to share with everyone, because it's been a long process for me. It's been a few years in making this decision, but I think within the next week or so I'll be able to make a decision and be really confident in that decision.
Which part makes it most exciting for you?
What's that, sorry?
What about it makes it so exciting for you?
Look, honestly, I think it's just a new challenge. I've been in the W League for so long, I've been in the NWSL for so long, and I feel like it's just time. I feel like it's time to challenge myself elsewhere, get out of my comfort zone. I don't know anyone over in Europe really, and I just feel like with where my career is going at the moment, it's just the best move for me to keep continuing to grow.
Have you had to weigh up a few different offers?
Yeah, there's been a few, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of factors that play into it, and the most important thing for me is that I'm playing regular football, and football at a high quality. So for me, it was, there was a few in there that I definitely looked closely at, but then cut it right down to one or two, and yeah, it's been exciting.
Most Australians wouldn't be familiar with the women's game over there. Can you tell us what your experiences are like, or what you know of it so far?
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know many people over there, so just hearing from the girls in the national team and speaking to a few of the coaches that of the clubs that I thought I would go to is, it's a really professional environment. They have huge clubs backings behind them, so it's just a different world, to America or Australia from what we're compared to. There's so many different leagues. There's the FA Cup, there's the Continental Cup, the Champions League, so you're playing 50 games a year with your club, which is unusual for us Australians.
You're on course to become, I think, the fourth Matilda this season to move over to Europe, if that's where you end up. Is this going to be a growing trend, do you think, for Australian players, given their sort of calibre in the world and the rise of Europe?
I'm not sure, honestly. I think the W League's a great place for people to play when they, are finding their feet, getting back from injury, and there's been so many great young talents, myself included, that have come through the W League. So I'm not really sure. I think there's a lot of talk about it, obviously, but everyone's so different and everyone has different priorities, and I can only speak for myself that it was the right move for me. I know a few have already gone, but everyone's really different and has different priorities, so I'm sure there will still be a bunch of Matildas playing in the W League because we love our league, but I can't really say.
Is the prospect of playing just a single season year-round sort of enticing, and just that you've played so many games, leading between the NWSL and the W League?
Yeah, it is. I've been playing 8 years now, back-to-back leagues, and I'm getting older, believe it or not, so I'm starting to realise that I'm needing that mental break more than anything. So that was, a big pull for me to go to Europe, is to have that time that is scheduled in a calendar year that I'll be able to have time away from the game, which I think is really important.
So what's your view now on this sort of slight chasm that's happening between that normal routine of players being in America, then Australia, and now some moving to Europe, just that clash of calendar? Is that a challenge for you as a coach, or what are your thoughts on that?
Of course it's a challenge for myself as a coach, but ultimately what I feel is the best way to look at it is, can you play as many minutes as possible at the highest possible level? And they know themselves what that looks like, not only in terms of the league, but the club, the investment, the coaching that they receive, and ultimately as a national team coach makes my job easier. But when I listen to Sammy speak, and when she mentions the word challenge and comfort zone, well, that's really pleasing to hear, because she's dominated wherever she's played, and she's looking for a new challenge, and she backs herself. And I think as an Australian public, we're very fortunate that we have a player of her calibre leading the country, and we really look forward to seeing what she does next time and get the recognition that she deserves on the world stage.
Would you like to see, given the rise in particular places like England, Spain and Italy women's football in those leagues, would you like to see more Australians go over there, get out of their comfort zone?
Yeah, but again, it's going at the right time and understanding where to go and what league and what club. It's all good and well saying, yeah, I want to go to this league, but are you getting the minutes? Are you playing? What's better for you? So I think it's not just a one decision for all, and you have to. Sam knows now it's the right time for her to go. And she would have had opportunities in the past to go, but now she's played in both leagues, she's gone back to back, and there's a whole list of contributing factors to her decision. It's not something she's thought of overnight. She's been a long time coming, and but at the same time, when I say that, I wouldn't be surprised with the rise of European football in the women's game that there are more that follow in these footsteps.
So you obviously,
What timing?
That's it, guys.
Everyone's too skilled.
I'll do it again.
you obviously know where Sam's going, but without revealing it, just what about her game do you think a move like this will improve specifically? You talked about comfort zone. I mean, she's been nominated for the Ballon d'Or again. It seems only a matter of time now before she sort of takes her game to a level where she's winning it. Could be this year.
You will, because it's different football. completely. The American League is also very open. There's a lot of transition moments, and I think that in the short space of time I've been involved in the women's game, I've seen in Europe how tactically flexible that they are, and it's a different way of playing. So I think as players and as coaches, you always want to challenge yourself and better yourself. So I think it's exciting, and I think as Australian footballers we need more of that to come up against different styles, against different formations, against different settings. So it's going to be exciting to see how it unfolds.
Sam, you touched on the World Cup before, and you guys haven't played since then, but what's the kind of mood coming into this camp now after the way things ended the World Cup and things were a bit turbulent then? Does it feel more settled now?
Yeah, it feels more settled, but we're just raring to go, once we kind of bow out a World Cup like we did, everyone's just ready to play. It's been, we've had 4 training sessions and everyone's just hanging out for tomorrow. We're really excited, excited to get back together and be playing together. We believe in this team and we believe in each other, so it's just about getting back on, the playing pitch and getting that belief back, because, it's been a tough few months kind of getting over the World Cup, but we're ready to move on and ready to, start our journey towards the Olympic qualifiers.
Is there still any sense of disappointment following the World Cup?
I think as a footballer you never really get over things like that. I'm still thinking about things that happened and moments in games, and I think that's just a footballer's way, but you do that with every game, but we'll always remember it, but I think now it's a way to, we can use it as a tool for the next tournament we go to and remember those moments. So I think we'll be thinking about it for probably till the next World Cup, but we've moved on now, we're ready to start playing again.
What about the big boost for the team this week with the equal payment stuff coming out? How important is that for you guys?
Yeah, it is really important. Obviously, it's an amazing deal. We're really proud of it. Proud to be a part of it with the Socceroos as a whole collective. It's an amazing thing, and it's no excuses now for the Matildas. We've got a lot to prove, and we're excited for the challenge. And there's going to be a lot more expectations from ourselves now, and I think that's what this team needed, is another boost, and we've got that, and we've been working together for years to get this, and we're really grateful that the Socceroos were on board with it, and hopefully it makes other countries think about what they're doing in their federations too.
I'd say Chile made a strong start last time. They had 2 games here. They made a strong start in the first game. There's no danger of us underestimating them on Saturday.
Obviously, it's the playing group have spoken about that, and again, it all comes down to us and our mentality and how we take ownership of the group. But we definitely won't underestimate this opponent, particularly as you mentioned, the way the games unfolded last time. But as I said, they were respectable at the World Cup, and also most recently had a draw with Brazil. So you understand countries like Chile and the way the women's game going, they're now investing more in football, but the countries that are investing and have a strong football culture, like Chile does, they're the ones that are rising. So we know we'll be in for a tough game tomorrow, but always as an Australian team, we'll be as best prepared as possible, and we'll be looking to take the game to them.
I'd say, given the investment that's happening worldwide in women's football, are we at risk of falling behind the 8 ball at all?
What I will say is I'd love to see, again, and I always refer back to the football and to the coaching and to the club sense. Now we need to take it. Now the girls are going to be rewarded financially, which is great, and now there's a genuine pathway for the young girls. There's no better time to be a footballer in Australia than now. However, now with the league in Australia, can we get more games? Can we get more full-time coaching? Can we get more full-time medical staff? What do the facilities look like? When can we get at a point there where that's improving, where that's getting to a level? That's what's going to be the difference if we want to catch up with the rest of the world. And I can only speak more so on what I've seen in Europe, because I've been based there for a couple of years now, but looking at the facility and how that's growing there in a lot of those top European nations, they're investing. They're moving forward quickly, and in some ways looking at the past, our women's game have to be in danger that we don't sort of follow in the path of our Australian men's youth teams. You know, where Asia's invested in Asia's putting all the resources in. We have to be careful. We have to be careful, and we have to say that, you know, we're a serious sport here. But the signs have been good, obviously, with the announcement this week with the PFA and FFA. That's fantastic. That's a great step. But now we need to build on that, and also we now have to rise to those expectations now. So now there's a lot more expected of us, and we need to deliver.
Okay, what's your thoughts on Jenna McCormick making her debut tomorrow? What are you expecting from her?
A debut. She's sacrificed now because she wants to be part of it. We had a training camp last month, and it was a lot for her to digest in a small space of time, but she's really willing to learn. Looking forward to her putting on the jersey tomorrow in front of this crowd and this opponent. But she deserves the opportunity, and I'm sure that she'll take it.
We'll leave it
One
there.
more question, Ben?
Last one.
Sam, I've got a question from ABC Kids Behind the News. They're doing a story about participation in football for kids 0 to 14 has increased over the last few years. I mean, do you think that's a great thing for the game?
Yeah, obviously the participation is obviously amazing for young kids to be choosing football as their preferred sport. It's just the challenge from 14 onwards to keep them in the game, and I think that goes into what Ante said, is that we've got to find a way to keep, you know, young girls and boys invested in what they're doing and believe in where the sport's going. And I think, you know, we've always had a really good participation from a young age. It's just keeping them in the game, and we lose them to other sports because of the money they're pouring in or the facilities they have. So I think, like Ante said, we can't keep losing our best talents to other sports.
Leave it there before the lights go out again.
I can turn it back on. Thank you.
Thanks.
Make a note of that one. Did that go out? Thanks, everyone.